Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Dan, I miss it when Stevenage was sponsored by Burger King.
Yeah.
Since then, it's all gone downhill.
Well, they're now sponsored by Cash Converters.
Ironically, their manager ate all the burgers.
Yeah. And a shame they converted some cash into some spirit.
Yeah,
It
was.
Maybe they showed a bit of spirit. Not enough for me. Cash Converters. I quite like that. I wouldn't want to be sponsored by it, but it's very it does sort of remind me of a bygone era a bit.
They're still there, aren't they, Cash Converters on Sybil Street?
Yeah, I know, yeah. You can still go in Cash Converters.
With their overpriced mountain bikes and second-hand PS5s that are more than you get them in the shop for new.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
That's their game, is it?
That's their game.
And then... Yeah, I don't like it as much as it used to be better, didn't it, though, Cash Converters?
You get all sorts of interesting
stuff. But it used to just be rammed full of just junk.
Yeah, well, it would be like...
Even the one across the road, Once, formerly Radio Parts, now has not got as much stuff crammed in there.
Used to be just like insanely bassy speakers that someone souped up and like a sword and
some disco lights.
Yep. And some computer games from, the past on a console that you can't get anymore.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's just... high interest on high-end items. And there's ripping people off.
Yeah. Still plenty of gold to be had, though, isn't there? Gold rings, gold chains.
True. I tell you who should have felt ripped off.
Sovereigns.
Jake Taylor. Because where the hell were his supporters?
Yeah, that's quite weird, that, isn't it, in a way?
No, I mean,
was it something to do with, did you say something about Steve Evans told them all not to bother coming away or something?
For those of you who don't know, Exeter City beat Stevenage 2-1 on Saturday. And yes, pre-match, Steve Evans did his first interview with the club. By the way, he loves that weird leather folder thing he carries around with a zip, doesn't he? Always got it.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Well, they call it a pocketbook.
A pocketbook. He's got that under his arm.
I don't really understand why it's called a pocketbook, because it doesn't go in your pocket, because they're massive, and it's not a book, is it?
No.
Anyway.
The same way that Steve Evans gets away with being called a manager, I suppose. But... there he was, and so the
sleeveless fleece gilet.
Yeah, he wasn't wearing that in the interview.
Right.
But so their version of Craig Bratt has got him an interview, and he says, "Steve, how important is it that the fans get behind you as the new manager to save the club from relegation?" And he says, "Yeah, so important, especially the home games. I'm not really bothered about the away games, but the home games, we need you." Because we've got a big club on a good team on Saturday, so, whatever, but the home games really need you. And they heeded his advice, and only 80 came from Stevenage, which is, 3.5 hours?
Yeah.
They were still advertising spaces on the
Saturday,
coach.
5 maybe on a Saturday.
9 a.m. on the coach, they were still advertising spaces.
Oh, yeah, it's not good, is it?
And then, actually, for a team that are way down the bottom, I thought I don't think they were good, but they showed some spirit.
Well, later on they did.
And they brought no one. 80.
I think that might have been still the record attendance of the season, though, because so many Exeter City fans turned up.
Well,
sold out both
did.
the seating stands, but very close to 6,000. That would have been nice, wouldn't it? I think we're about 70 short.
Thanks a lot, Stevenage. Anyway, it doesn't matter because Exeter City beat Stevenage. Not Borough anymore, Stevenage FC, 2-1.
Yeah, we made kind of heavy weather of it, didn't we, a bit?
At certain points, we certainly did.
But grinded it out,
Yeah.
Ground it out.
Ground it out.
To use the correct tense.
Yeah,
ground it out.
So, 2 corners.
Yep.
From Giovanni Brown.
Yep.
2 headers from Sam Stubbs. Either side of an equaliser from Luke Norris, wasn't it, I think?
It was. Up until when we scored, it didn't look like Stevenage weren't causing us any problems at all. It was scrappy a bit, but we were getting plenty of the ball, weren't we?
Certainly. Plenty of midfield possession.
Yeah. And getting it to Key down the right-hand side quite a lot.
Yeah.
Getting it to Sparks. Yeah, anyway, and then we scored. And what a header. Sam Stubbs, his first goal for Exeter.
Absolute bullet.
Yeah, that's so hard.
If you lined up
headers it so hard into the net.
So hard. Like, if you get like those medieval catapult things that swing a hammer down.
A trebuchet.
Yeah, that thing. You wouldn't get any better purchase with one of
I've
them?
seen a trebuchet in action
Oh yeah,
at Warwick Castle.
of course.
Um,
It's not the first time we've mentioned Warwick Castle
Really?
on this podcast. No.
oh, so I won't bother telling my other bit about
We
it.
haven't
then.
heard the trebuchet story though.
No, I think I mentioned about them having a waxwork of Henry VIII, despite the fact that he'd never been there.
Oh, yes,
Right, yeah.
indeed.
Let's not go over very, very old ground.
Okay.
But yeah, saw a trebuchet in action.
Good, very good. Well, we saw Sam Stubbs in action, and it was a pile driver, wasn't it?
Yes.
Absolute beaut. 1-0.
1-0.
Then we kind of messed around a bit, to be honest.
We didn't look like we were in any danger.
And then ball.
Well, they have a free kick inside their own half. I
Yes.
can't remember who gave it away because it wasn't really, it was kind of nothing. It's a long way from goal. You're not worried about it.
Mm.
He delivered it into the box. Kind of gets headed across. Jack Sparks at the time, I thought, just completely swang at it and missed it. Replay sort of vindicates it
The guy kind of took it off his toe, didn't he?
Yeah, and then the ball comes across all the way to the back post, and if anything, it's probably Josh Key that kind of should have been a bit more alive to that.
I think he knows that because he's raging with himself afterwards, isn't he?
Actually, on top of Key, I mean, I thought he played pretty well. Had a very good shot tipped around the post by our old friend Christy Pym,
Oh, yeah.
who, by the way, was given a nice warm reception.
Yeah. As was Jake Taylor.
As was Jake Taylor.
Yeah.
Well, Jake Taylor sort of had a sort of lukewarm reception, which I mean, indifferent, I would say, which a lot of people seem to be to his entire Exeter City career, even when he was here. But I noticed he'd commented on the Instagram
Oh, did he?
post saying thank you,
Okay.
and to go and finish the job, which we will. But you get I was like thinking, he wishes he was here, doesn't he?
I mean,
He wishes he was part of that team.
that is because Stevenage looked quite, they didn't look good. What am I saying? Beginning of the season, they invested quite a lot. I know Luke Norris is past it. I know Jake Taylor's past his best. But you think like, these are some quite good players here they brought in, and of course they've really struggled, and it's got worse and worse for them.
Yeah.
And then you turn up at basically a full St James Park.
Well, yeah, and like you're saying before we started recording, if they go down, they're going to struggle to get back up.
They're not coming back up, are they?
Especially if their fans can't be asked,
Yeah.
First game of the new manager.
Yeah.
He's come out in his best sleeveless fleece gilet, going absolutely ballistic. Apparently in the dugout.
Well,
he's
you
on
kind
the
of
pitch
see
half the time.
Yeah. That's kind of his thing, isn't it?
Right, and his mate as well. Like,
Yeah.
And I mean,
Anyway, Jake Taylor and Christy Pym were there. That's kind of all you can say from really.
it is.
I didn't think like, I wish we still had these two.
No.
Nor Jamie Reid. Nor
Jamie
Luke
Reid.
Norris. I know we never had him, but people were talking about him. for the
Jamie
last few
Reid and
seasons.
one of his own players nearly had a fight at the end of the match.
I know. Bizarre that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So anyway, we had an
So they
equaliser scored
equalised,
against us. Yeah.
kind of
Norris
knocked the
at the back
stuffing
post.
out of us a bit as well, didn't it? Because after that, they did look a little bit lively. It kind of gave them a bit of a incentive.
But credit where it's due. Before half time, went ahead again. Another Stubbs header.
Yeah.
I mean,
Another Giovanni Brown corner from
Yeah.
the same side.
Yeah.
No, from the other
on
side.
the other side.
Another Sam Stubbs header where let's be honest, he just absolutely towers, completely legally towers above their defender.
No hands on him at all.
He just sort of stays on his back in a kind of piggyback sort of position for ages. Now, you can look at it two ways, really. I don't say it's a really, really... Like, if that gets given as a foul, I don't think anyone complains, including us.
Yeah.
But the guy doesn't jump for it. He kind of just like, you could say he was almost like backing into Stubbs. Or anyway, it's given.
2-1. 2 goals for Stubbs.
2-1, half-time.
Do you see his dad commented?
Yeah, I was thinking about this, how obviously Alan Stubbs is a kind of de facto Exeter City fan, really, now, isn't he?
Yeah. Did you see he commented on the thing?
Yeah.
About
It's about time, yeah.
Well, anyway, 2-1 half time. And felt good. Felt like, okay.
Yeah. We've got second half we're shooting towards the big bang, but we're usually better in games as we go on. Sam Stubbs is on a hat trick.
Yeah, which would have been quite the thing.
Yeah.
But we made quite a meal of it, didn't we?
We did a bit. Famous hat trick scored at St James's Park. How many have there been recently? Well, there was Matt J. did
Jay's
one.
the only one I can think of recently.
Flack got 2 in a row, remember?
Yes.
Not Flax. I'm getting confused with, the modern day Steve Flack, Ryan Bowman.
Bowman
Bowman's
got
got 2 in a row,
yes.
consecutive home games.
Flack. Well,
Well, One name missing off that list. Flack did get one.
Yeah, he did. I'm just thinking.
There's a name missing off that list.
Well, did Stockley ever get one?
I think he did. No, I'm not sure he got one at home.
Okay.
St James Park hat-tricks we're talking about here.
Yeah, who was it?
Me.
Yeah, not recorded in the City of Exeter history, Dan.
Yes, but no less true as a result.
I now see why we're talking about this.
Yeah, well, I've gone 3 years without mentioning it. Thought now was the time.
Tell us the story, please.
I played at St James's Park.
Yes.
For my school team.
Yes.
In the 3rd, 4th place playoff.
Yeah.
They do the final there as well, but whatever.
Yeah.
And we won something like 8-1. And I came on at half time and scored a hat-trick all down the St James Road end, unfortunately. No goals in front of the big bank. 3 very similar goals. Did a Ravanelli celebration.
Of course.
I got it on video somewhere. Well, I did have it on video. They make a video for you.
Yeah.
And but I've lost it. So the evidence is gone. Unless anyone else from my team is listening and happens to have the footage, in which case, please get in touch with me because I want to see it.
Well,
anyway, there you go.
That's good. I mean, the only hat-trick I ever scored was own goal. 3 own goals.
Ah, really? That's terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't at St James Park, but it was terrible, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Sean Devine, I think, scored a hat-trick at St James Park.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
In good company.
So...
They are with me.
Stubbs didn't get a hat-trick.
He never.
Now, about 15 minutes in, glorious chance. Giovanni Brown with some absolute magic on the edge of the box, right-hand side.
He was brilliant again.
And he crosses the ball to Matt J, who...
Well, Matt J actually gets himself into such good position there. It's so well done to find that bit of space in the area, isn't it?
And yet...
Yeah, poor finish.
Not just a poor finish, a terrible finish. What is he, 4 yards out?
Generously, probably more like 7. He's not in the 6-yard box.
Isn't he?
Nah.
Okay. Well, even so.
He should still score, and it's a shame for him. That really would have, done it, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, would have
I
done
mean,
it.
it didn't matter in the end because we still won, but,
And then, from then on, there were a couple of times on it, Zanzala had a chance to on goal where he just looked exhausted.
Oh, he's blowing out of his arse, wasn't he?
That's the technical term.
I thought...
He had 10 yards on the guy.
Yeah.
Well, 5, certainly.
He did. I mean, so Zanzala started.
Yeah. Here's what he does well.
Yeah.
He creates a lot of space because he holds players off. And if it lands right...
I thought he won his aerial duels pretty well. He didn't give away too many fouls. He does that really well, you're right. He does.
And he's
and this is to be the thinking from Taylor for sure. Is like, yeah, he can do that. And if we create enough chances, he's not like someone who's never going to score. If we get enough, if we create enough, he's a perfectly good chance of getting on the end of something.
Yep.
However, clearly the plan is for the people around him
Yes.
to be enabled to score
That's
too.
right.
Do you know what I mean? So that, and that's fine. It's like that seems to be working.
Yeah.
So. I'm not criticising Zanzala. I think he's definitely a useful player.
Unfortunately, this chance, 70 minutes in, he'd had it, hadn't he? And fair enough,
yeah.
he's gone from playing not very much to playing a lot.
Yeah, and he snapped his leg off, didn't he?
Snapped his leg clean off. So we were just under pressure, weren't we? A lot of pressure. Phillips came on later on, but didn't really have a chance to do much. He had one good chance, then he threw on goal, as did Josh Key.
Yeah.
And neither of them put it away.
Yeah. Yeah, we do need to take those chances probably, but, not need. It would be nice to take those chances.
Well, it would make it a lot less stressful, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because we had a little bit of they were never really in, we weren't in much trouble.
They had one good chance, and then Dawson made an excellent save.
He did, yeah, a little bit of a mix-up. That it was kind of on the break, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And very good save from Dawson. Strong wrist to it.
I know we said it loads, but he's been brilliant. The amount of games he's contributed to.
Oh, I mean, how many points must he be worth? You
Yeah.
know, do you mean? Like,
10 probably.
Excellent goalkeeper. Over the last few years, obviously since Pim left, we've had, Pim was excellent for us for a really long time.
Yeah.
And then after that, Ward, Maxted, Anderson, obviously Anderson was really good too, but like that kind of whole period of kind of like, we're never quite sure who the keeper is. There is no doubt who the Exeter City goalkeeper is there? I mean, even though he's technically not even one of our players.
I wonder. I mean, you don't know. Who knows? You just hope we'll get one more year. I don't think we'll ever be able to afford him,
Nah, I mean, in the best case scenario, we go up.
Wednesday go up.
And we get and we get to have him for another season because he's a really good keeper, isn't he? And
If because Sheffield Wednesday are in the playoffs in League One.
are they?
Yeah, they're rivals with Argyle. If they go up, obviously that improves our chance of keeping him.
I'd say so. Yeah, I don't think we've got much chance of keeping him if we don't get promoted.
No, and I also don't think they'd want him in the same league as them.
Oh, quite right, of course. Yeah.
Championship's worth a lot more money. They'll be looking round. I don't know. I can't think who their starting keeper is. Obviously, they deem him
Chris Woods.
If only.
Kevin Pressman.
Oh, if only. They obviously deem him better than Dawson. Does it make any sense to have... Do you know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Anyway, he's been magnificent and was again. And so he came away with 3 points. And you're right to say they nearly had a punch-up in front of the Big Bank.
Yeah.
Because they were kind of arguing with the ref about the Stubbs thing, I think.
Right.
Well, I just saw them kind of, I saw someone gesturing, like the pushing down of shoulders.
Okay.
And then Jamie Reid gets involved. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about at all, but they get separated before it gets to, Will Smith and Chris Rock.
Yeah. That's a current cultural reference there.
Right on the button, that, innit?
Yeah,
Just straight away.
Yeah, very good.
Straight in there.
You got it.
All the references. What else is going on? Ukraine.
So another 3 points for Exeter City. Another one ticked off.
Yeah. And
That's what it's about, isn't it, now?
It does seem to be like that, doesn't it? Just like keep counting them down,
Couple more things to
Knock
say,
them
I
off.
suppose. Rowe played the whole game. Well, we started. Did he finish?
Yeah. No.
No, because DN came on
he
for
came
5
on
minutes
for
at
the
the
end.
end.
Yeah, and another brilliant game from him.
So good.
Yeah.
And do you know what? That's interesting, isn't it? Because he wasn't getting a look in at Bath City. Not a look in.
No.
And that tells you that you can't always judge people on what they're doing on loan, whether good or bad. Obviously,
Oh no, it's definitely it's down to a mentality thing as well. Isn't it? Like I was saying last week about how Rowe passes the ball and how you can see he's got this good technique. We saw more of that where he can absolutely just turn a player. He can turn a League Two player like in his sleep. Do you know what I mean? It's easy for him that side of the game, the technical bit, and that's obvious that in a way because that's obviously why he was playing for Aston Villa.
Yeah,
because they would have seen that this really young guy has got this ability, but he obviously wasn't quite at the level in other senses. Do you mean?
Yeah.
But all sorts of things happen. People at different times for different reasons. And yeah, if you go from being at Villa, if you think a mentality thing, you're playing at Aston Villa 1 minute, and I think he played a couple of them when they were in emergency and they had to.
It was the Liverpool.
Was it COVID or something? They had to
It was two things. It was COVID and it was a weird game, wasn't it? Because Liverpool were away playing the Club World Cup, which obviously didn't affect the Villa side, but they were all knocked out with COVID.
Yeah, so he's gone from that to being.
Yeah.
Then he's sold to Exeter City or released and signed by Exeter City, and then that's not working. So then he's off alone at Bath City, kind of non-league side.
Yeah.
And mentally, it's going to be difficult to kind of build from that point, isn't it? And I just think he's just seen this chance, and he thought, I've got to take it, and he has,
Taylor said it's his shirt to lose now, so presumably that means he'll start at Newport as well.
Do you think?
Do you know who I think should be worried a bit? Collins.
Nah, Collins has been too consistent.
Yeah. I think sometimes
I know he hasn't been as eye-catching as he could be. We'd like him to be, but I don't think there's any time soon that Collins is losing that place.
It's his mistakes, isn't it, with Collins? And I know it's inevitable because of where he is on the pitch, but sometimes it's very frustrating.
I don't think he makes a huge amount of mistakes.
All right.
Everyone's going to at some point. It's
yeah.
Otherwise he would be playing. Collins at his age would be playing in the Championship if he was mistake-free.
So it's whether DN comes in for.
I think it's a big game at Newport. Are they still kind of a big, strong, rough and tumble boys?
Yeah, I think that's kind of in
Is that
there.
what people call them?
Yeah, I think that's kind of in their identity, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what in my head. That's what they are.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, it's good because DN came on, so he's obviously back to some kind of fitness.
Yeah. So yeah. So I think they were kind of suggested that like by this time next week, because we haven't got now don't have any more Tuesday games till I think we've got one more now, haven't we?
One more Tuesday game, yeah.
Which is ages away. And I think it's a good. Yeah, that's obviously good. And I think they suggested that maybe Dieng's going to be back and fit and hopefully. But yeah, does he start? I mean, maybe I think he's done enough Rowe maybe to start the game, and then but Dieng maybe comes on and gets a bit longer. But anyway, but the difference is, I suppose, is Dieng scored a lot of goals for us.
Yeah.
And like I said about maybe not having like our kind of not having someone like Nombe available up the top. You want other people who can who can just confidently get you goals elsewhere, and Dieng's one of those people, Callum Rowe, who knows? I did see him score a good goal, I think, in the Papa John's back along.
What Taylor's done really well, you realise now, is basically every signing he's made, apart from Colin Daniel, has been useful.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, think about it. Dawson, brilliant, obviously. Grounds turned out to be really useful. I know Stubbs was here before this season, but great. George Ray played his part. Caprice been brilliant. Dieng's been brilliant. Stubbs, Nombe, Brown,
I think
Coley, and now Rowe.
Yeah, I think what it shows is that like he can bring in players, which is so important for a team like us, to bring in players who are maybe kind of like not like lost their way, not necessarily lost their way, but who are maybe kind of like aren't quite living up to their potential. And then we're finding new potential in these players. They haven't showed, like a lot of these players are having the best seasons of their careers. Tim Dieng, Giovanni Brown, etc. Even probably, I know there's been the injuries, but probably Nombe too. And
oh no, I think definitely Nombe. Definitely Nombe.
And so that's
probably Stubbs as well, actually.
Yeah, and that's extremely valuable. And it just goes to the testament to like Matt Taylor's kind of management, and not just him and his coaching team or whatever. Yeah, it's good.
That's brilliant. Anyway, more on what's coming next in a second. Welcome back to the Big Bang Theory podcast. Remember, you can get in touch with us in all the normal ways at Big Bang Pod on Twitter, bigbangpod@gmail.com on email, and with the Big Bang Theory podcast on Facebook. One of us is looking for a ticket for Newport County.
Yeah, me.
You. So if anyone's got one...
I know it seems pretty unlikely. I think a lot of people are trying to get them now. But, if anyone's got... if anyone picks up COVID this week and can't go...
Yeah.
I'll take it off your hands.
If anyone would like to give a ticket to their favourite podcast presenter, the email is joe.wilkinson@gmail.com. No, Dan would like one, please, if anyone's got one going. So the league table looks like this. It's we keep saying this. There's no other word for it. It's crunch time.
Oh, yeah, it is, yeah. It's the business end.
Do you know that Fergie never said squeaky bum time, turns out?
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was a misnotation by the journalist writing up at the time.
Well, what was he saying then?
Squeak your bum time.
Oh, right.
Which makes more sense, I suppose. But it's that. Whatever that is, it's that time. Let me give you the league, Dan.
Please do.
Forest Green are top still. They've played 37. They're on 72. Exeter City are second. Played 38 on 68 points with a goal difference of plus 20. Northampton are third. They played a game more than us. They're on 66 points. Port Vale have played the same number of games as us, but they're 5 points behind on 63. Their goal difference is one better than ours. Newport and Bristol and Tranmere are all on the same points as Port Vale, but they've played a game more. So that's 63 points in 5th, 6th and 7th. Then Mansfield have only played 36. They're on 62. They're just outside the playoffs.
Crikey.
Spreading a bit... So, Sutton have dropped away. So, probably the playoff positions are going to be between...
We need some other people to drop away.
We do, really. But we're, of course, pulling away the other way.
If we beat Newport at the weekend, that's massive, I think.
Psychologically massive and points on the board massive.
Yeah.
I
I know
agree.
we've got other big games as well. I know we've still got to play Northampton. I know we've still got to play Port Vale again.
But Dan, it could be all over by the time we play Northampton.
Well,
Port Vale.
exactly. It could be, yeah. But that's what I mean. I think it could be so big. Do you know what I mean? Like, if we just manage to win this game now, we haven't beaten Newport for Rodney Parade for a minute. But the last 3 or so games have all been draws. I think a draw would be okay. No, in fact, it would be very much okay, a draw. We can't drop out of the automatic places no matter what happens, as you said. I'd take a point, but I would love a win.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to be there. To help
I understand.
Help that to happen.
If we win and everyone walks away kind of with a bit of swagger, you could call that the Rodney Parade. What's that guy doing? Oh, he's doing the Rodney Parade.
If I do manage to get a ticket, I promise I will go dressed as Rodney Trosser from Only Fools and Horses.
Wow. Promise?
Promise.
All right. Okay, you heard it here first. Listeners, so the league is tight, but Exeter City and Forest Green are in an excellent position. Excellent position.
Oh, I know. I can't handle it.
I'd take 4 points from the next 2 games. A draw at Newport and a win at Carlisle, or the other way round. Obviously, I'd happily have 6 points.
Yep.
We don't really want to lose, mainly because giving the points to Newport as much as anything else.
No, exactly. That's what you mean. That's why they call it a 6-pointer.
That is why they call it a 6-pointer. Yeah, it's... We've sold out our... Obviously, because you're trying to get a ticket. We've sold out our away allocation.
Yep.
We won't sell out our away allocation to Carlisle, but I think if we win this, we'll still be taking several hundred.
Yeah.
Well,
they've been good all season, haven't they? It's the home crowds that have been,
fluctuating.
coming along now. We're good.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily good, but winning.
It's massive, isn't it? It's just massive.
They are good.
So Newport drew with Bradford, kind of rejuvenated Bradford City at the weekend. Before that, they lost to Hartlepool. They've beaten Carlisle and Stevenage and Bristol Rovers recently. So obviously they're in a good position. They're a team in good form.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Podgemon can't play, can he? I know that's he's not been playing much anyway, but that's a thing.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's almost too much to cope with, frankly.
It is.
They've got some of our, old familiars. Demetriou, Robbie Wilmot, who we know well, Scott Bennett.
He scored against us, didn't he? Wilmot?
He did, yeah, he did. Scott Bennett and Wilmot being the 2 main ones, but they got a lot of.
Bennett's been there such a long time, as you know.
He has. I wonder with Newport if they're definitely, this kind of phase of their team is kind of on its way out, isn't it? Like that keeper, Wilmot, Bennett, Demetriou. They've been there a really long time, like.
Mate, he's not there anymore, is he?
Who's that?
The big lad.
Abrahams.
No.
He was there.
Voldemort.
Ellison.
Yeah.
Oh, he fell out with him, I think, didn't he? But then the manager changed. Is he still there? I don't know. Oh, no, he is still there.
Okay.
And, of course, our old friend, Alex Fisher.
Oh, yeah, Fisher. I mean, I'm not worried about him, to be honest. The famous last words, sure, but
Totally famous last words.
He scores a left foot volley from the halfway line.
He's too much of a nice guy. He wouldn't do that to us.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking Jake Taylor was doing. Not trying very hard, because really his heart is still in Exeter.
Bringing him down from the inside.
Is on a picnic bench down double locks.
Yeah. Bury my bones at Darts Farm, he said.
Yeah. Don't worry, Jake, we will.
Put my brain at Greendale Farm.
What's there? Greendale?
I don't know, they always go there, don't they?
Oh, do they?
Because near the
Right.
Cat and Fiddle, I suppose.
Okay.
Bowman's was always there feeding the chickens and eating a large sandwich.
Good for him.
Oh, Dan.
Oh, I know.
So it's a game a week pretty much now. So we skip on, Saturday. Then there's the Good Friday, Monday. So that's the kind of only time there's 2 games in close succession.
Of course, there's that, yeah.
Until the Barrow game, which
Yeah.
is the penultimate home game. Another 6... I know we're not going to be home for a while, but we will surely be expecting pushing past 6,000 soon, shouldn't we?
I'd say so, especially if we win at Newport.
And Carlisle.
Everyone wants to come and see this, don't they? You want to be part of history.
feels like part. Why does it feel more like part of history than when Tisdale was here? I guess we were just all taken along on the ride. It wasn't weird then.
I think
We
a
just
bit,
win
I think a
things.
bit of a building back sort of process as well. The last few seasons, Taylor's come in. It's kind of like he's done good, solid work for the last 2 years, but we haven't quite been there. We had obviously the playoff final, but that was all COVID, I suppose.
Yeah, it's the pandemic as well, isn't it? Yeah,
yeah. I think they're sort of giving us a sort of. It sounds rather lame, but a sort of team to kind of believe in.
Yeah,
You know what I
no,
mean?
I'd agree with that.
You got like kind of.
They're good lads.
It do seem like good lads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they really are a team built in the image of Matt Taylor, aren't they? More than ever. They're all like.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
You got all these sort of like.
Well, you're thinking about the flamboyant.
Yeah,
lot.
I'm thinking of these cool guys.
I
and
just
like
think
stuff
I just think there's a lot of hard work there.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely that, and I think that's definitely what is impressed on a lot of them. It's just we work hard, we work together.
Yeah.
And yeah, and they've definitely been doing that. You cannot fault the work rate for 1 second.
No.
And let's remember that certain people were kind of, I don't know who they are, so I'm not. It's not like I'm not naming them, but people, there was some suggestion when some of these signings were brought in at the start of the season that they were maybe some of these players were lazy or were prone to that kind of thing, or kind of like being disinterested. This was sometimes comments from like fans of their previous clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
And we have not seen a single hint of that.
No, we haven't.
Nothing.
No.
And and then so I would suggest that's probably something more to do with your club, or your manager before, because
Talking to managers, we're going to see Phil Brown. He's in at Barrow, isn't he? Mark Cooper's been let go.
Yeah.
So we're getting all the weird new old managers to add to Evans.
Brown.
Phil Brown.
On the pitch pointing.
So relieved we've got someone like Matt Taylor. And whoever we get next will be someone like Matt Taylor. Obviously it'll be different, but we're never getting Phil Brown, are we?
Jokers in, Evans, Brown.
No.
No,
that's right. Anyway, the famous Exeter City march on.
Fair dues.
When they were singing on Saturday, Reds are going up. Now
Yeah.
you're going to believe us. I was thinking, I am going to believe you.
Oh, don't get caught up in it.
But, even if we don't manage it.
I like hearing it again. It's been a while since we've heard the old
League One.
The League One. Isn't it?
Yeah.
It sort of made me a bit nostalgic, because last time we really thought we were going to go up to the League One.
Remember, we were singing those songs in January, whereas now, I think it was partly the weather on Saturday as well, wasn't it? It was so hot.
Yeah.
And
it really had like end of the season vibes.
end of the season vibes. And obviously, I know there's a few away games, but we're counting down the amount of home games left, aren't we, and all that. By the way, last time we mentioned the world's biggest coat, you might recall. This time we saw the world's biggest linesman.
He was a tall boy.
He was.
Yeah.
For a moment, I thought one of the floodlight stands had taken up its roots and started wandering around.
We don't even have those stands.
No, I know we don't. It was a good joke. Just wandering around looking massive. And I thought, no one's giving this guy any grief.
Well, I mean, when he was checking Pim's net before half time,
Oh,
he looked like his dad, didn't he?
Towered above him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be...
He could have come for a couple of those Stubbs crosses,
he would have, yeah, he would have.
Not sorry, the crosses for Stubbs goals. But yeah.
Go Gadget Arms, bosh.
Yep.
If that's not a niche reference, I don't know what is.
When he calls an offside, you got to watch out. Set your eye out.
He picked up one of those flags they wave when the players come on the pitch at the beginning and thought it was his normal
just use
size.
this. Can I use
this?
The other one looks stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was big. Anything else about people there?
Weird blue beach ball being punted around.
Oh yeah, such summer feeling in the air, wasn't it? That someone had brought along a Nivea beach ball.
Yeah. Keep dreaming, lads. It's now freezing.
Do you have your suntan lotion on?
I didn't. I regretted it afterwards.
I didn't either. Yeah.
Yeah, but now we're back to gloomy old. It's not even April yet. Weather.
No.
Well, everyone, thanks for listening. You can get in touch with us in the normal ways, of course, and you can review us online as well. And if you've got that ticket for Dan,
Well,
please...
remember, if you get COVID, think of
yeah.
me. Think of me. I know it's my own fault. I could have got a ticket, priority member and all that. Didn't. And now I regret it. But should I be punished for that? Yes. But doesn't mean you shouldn't sell me your ticket. I'll pay good money. Great money.
Great money, eh?
Great money. I'll pay great money, and also I'll give you all like some stickers and that with Mark Chamberlain on them.
Yeah. So who wouldn't want that?
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everyone. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.